Hello, this is Cathy Cassidy and I am here to read you another chapter from Scarlett. I'm going to warn you right now, it's a very dramatic chapter. Things are really hotting up in the story. It's chapter 22, which means we are 2/3 of the way through the story. And this morning, as you can see, I am reading from my garden. It's beautiful and sunny and kind of too hot to sit in the sun, so to avoid lots of squintiness, I'm sitting here underneath the mock orange bush again, and I'm going to read you chapter 22. I hope you are enjoying that lovely hot weather, and I hope that you're going to enjoy this chapter. So, chapter 22. It's after tea when I hear a muffled yowl of pain from Holly's room. I run through and find her sitting in the middle of the pink quilt with a bag of frozen peas held against her nose. She's shivering and whimpering and chewing her lip. Then I see the badge, its pin open and bent back at an unnatural angle. One of my old gold studs lies on the quilt, the butterfly clip beside it. I realise that Holly's threats and jokes about piercing her nose were deadly serious. "What are you doing?" I demand, horrified. "Holly, this is a bad idea." "Why?" Holly says through chattering teeth. "I've got guts, okay? I can do it. It hurts though, and this is just the ice pack bit." "Holly, can't we talk about this?" I say. "You're 9. You can't have a pierced nose, and there's no way you can do it yourself. It's crazy." "Your friend did it," Holly points out. "She was older, and it was ears, not nose," I argue. "She was also nuts. I was there, remember? She swore like crazy, and there was a load of blood. Seriously, Holly, bad idea." "This will be easier." Holly grins wickedly. "Only one piercing to make. You've seen it done. You'll help me, won't you?" "No way," I protest. "Dad and Claire would go crazy." Holly lets the packet of frozen peas drop down onto the bed. "Suppose so," she says. "We should be more honest with them, right? We shouldn't have secrets. No piercings, no sneaking out to the loch to meet strange lads." "Holly," I say warningly, "you promised not to tell." "Did I?" she says with a shrug. "Can't remember. No, I think you're right. We shouldn't have secrets from Mum and Chris." "Holly, don't do this," I whisper. "I want my nose pierced," she says coolly. "Are you going to help me, or shall I do it myself?" I have never been blackmailed by a 9-year-old before. I pick up the bag of frozen peas and clamp it against Holly's nose, then test the badge pin for sharpness. A bead of bright blood appears at my fingertip. It's sharp, all right. "Are you sure?" I begin. "Sure," Holly snaps. "Get on with it before my face gets frostbite." I remove the frozen peas and position the badge pin at the side of Holly's nose. It's a cute, tip-tilted little girl nose with just the right amount of freckles scattered across it. I can't imagine it with a stud or a gold ring. It just feels wrong. "Go on," Holly prompts. I push the badge pin and she yelps and jumps across the bed, a trickle of red trailing across her top lip. "Yow!" she shrieks. "That's sore. Is it done?" "No, it was just a nick. Come here and stay still." Holly screws her eyes shut and stuffs a corner of the pink quilt into her mouth. I feel bad, like I'm preparing to amputate a leg without anaesthetic. "Do it," Holly says from behind the quilt. "Please, Scarlett." So I do. I push the badge pin into her skin, but she jumps again and the badge pin slips and skids down to her top lip, where it slides through the soft skin like a knife through butter. I have pierced my stepsister's top lip. A thick pool of crimson wells up round the stab wound and snakes down over my shaking hand. I pull the pin out quickly, but by then Holly is screaming. "It hurts," she yells. Oh, it hurts." "Shut up," I hiss, clamping a hand across her mouth. "Dad and Claire will hear. What did you have to move for? Look what you've made me do. And I told you it would hurt, didn't I? I told you. A river of thick red blood pours down my hand and drips onto the pink quilt. I sprint out to the bathroom and grab a cold damp flannel and a box of tissues to staunch the flood. Holly is crying now, little girl tears, big gasping shudders of pain and shock. I realise with a sick, shaky certainty that 9 is not old enough for this, nor is 19 or even 90. I'm sorry, I hiss. I didn't mean to hurt you. I'm so sorry, okay? Is it meant to bleed this much? Holly wails as the blood seeps through the tissue and drips onto her white t-shirt, blooming into a red rose stain. I don't know, I whisper. I can't remember. Shut up, Holes, for goodness sake, please. But it's too late. Holly? Claire calls from the foot of the stairs. Scarlett, is everything okay? Everything's fine, I shout back. No problem. But Claire is coming up the stairs. I abandon Holly and step out onto the landing, closing the door behind me. Don't worry, Claire, I tell her, blocking the top of the stairs. I yelled, but I'd just banged my toe against the bed in Holly's room. I'm fine now. Oh, Claire says, I was sure it was Holly I heard. No, really, Holly's fine, I argue, but there's a low, shuddering whimper from across the landing, and Claire frowns and pushes past me into Holly's room. It looks like the scene of a small massacre. Holly is curled up on the bed, sobbing raggedly, her arms locked around her face. All around her, spots of blood litter the quilt, and scrunched up, blood-soaked tissues are strewn everywhere. Dear God, Claire says, what happened? Nothing, I say. It was an accident. Tell her, Holly. Oh, Mum, Holly gasps. We used the frozen peas, but it didn't work, and the badge pin slipped, and it hurts. It really, really hurts. Claire takes Holly through to the bathroom, tilting her head back as she wipes the blood away and holds a clean white towel against the wound to stop the bleeding. Explain, Claire says to me. It wasn't my idea, I stall. I told her it was a bad plan. What was? Claire demands. Piercing her nose. Oh God, Claire says, it wasn't an accident. She did it herself. I look at Claire for a long moment, and I look at Holly, her green eyes wide and scared, her lips trembling. She looks terrified, but I can't work out whether she's scared of Claire or me. My mouth feels dry and my hands are shaking. I have blown it this time, I know. What made me listen to Holly? Messing up your own life, your own body, that's one thing. But wrecking someone else's? That takes real talent. What made me think this could ever be a good idea? I reach out to hold Holly's hand, but my fingers are sticky, streaked with red. She pulls her hand away. Holly didn't do this herself, I say at last, in a quavery voice. I did. So that is Scarlett in an awful lot of trouble now. Very dramatic, and you'll have to tune in tomorrow, see what happens next. But we're definitely getting to the exciting bit of the story now. I hope you are enjoying things as they go along. I hope that you're okay and handling the lockdown all right. Let me know what you're up to if you're in England, if things are easing up a bit, or wherever you happen to be in the world, because I know that we have, you know, we've got readers like Sophia in India and Benita in Kenya, and we've got Audrey in Philippines. I can't even think, but I know we have readers all around the world. Lots of people in France, I think, following along, trying to improve their English too. Let me know where you are and what things are like in the lockdown for you right now. And thank you so much for tuning in and listening. I will see you again tomorrow. Until then, keep smiling and enjoy this sunshine while it lasts. Take care.